today. I'm getting ready to do my Monday piece of art video, and I was going to grab just some of my regular collage papers, my gel press prints or painted papers that I've made. Then I decided no, I want to do something different. I'm going to make some Citra Solv papers. I haven't done that in probably 2 or 3 years. So I'm making this video on how I make the Citra Solv papers, and then I'll use them in my project in the other video. But I use, and what most people use actually, are older National Geographic magazines. And I've tried newer National Geographics, and I've tried other magazines, and I've never had any success with them. I have the most success with National Geographics from the 1980s and early 1990s. That's just me. I mean, I've watched people make the papers in videos using newer National Geographics, so it can be done. You don't have to have an old one. But a long time ago, I was able to get my hands on a lot of National Geographics from the 80s, so I have a lot of them, so that's what I use. And just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, here are, well, I don't know if you can see that, but these are from a National Geographic magazine, and I altered them with the Citra Solv, which is a natural cleanser. And you have to use, if you go to the store, you'll see several different types, and you'll be tempted to buy the one in the spray bottle. Don't do it. You have to get the concentrated cleaner and degreaser. This is the one that works. A lot of people hate the smell. It smells like oranges. I don't mind the smell. It is really strong. You should probably use it outside. I'm not going to, but you probably should. The smell is pretty overwhelming. It's also, this is a really messy process. It's probably good to wear gloves to protect your hands, rubber gloves, but I don't have any rubber gloves, so I'm just going to get messy. But anyway, so we use this, the Citra Solv. And what it does, it sort of melts the ink on the magazine pages. This was just a regular photograph in National Geographic. It was a double page spread of some birds flying, but as you can see, when I put the Citra Solv on, it just altered them. And most of the time when I do this, I'm altering the pages so much that you can't really tell what was there before. And if you're going to use this in art that you're going to sell, you need to do that. Like, for example, this. For copyright reasons, even though I've altered it, I haven't altered it enough. So I wouldn't be able to sell this, because who knows, the photographer that took these pictures might look at this and say, hey, those are my pictures under that mess that someone's created. But anyway, so if you're going to use your Citra Solv papers in art that you're going to sell, you really, really need to alter them so that you cannot tell what was there before. Okay, so what we do, we start out with a National Geographic. And I go through and rip out all of the little insert type things. This one I've already gotten ready. I usually take off, I've taken off probably the first, the cover and the first 6 or 7 pages. I just ripped those off because those are mostly type and you're not going to use those. I've also already pulled out all of the little insert things. National Geographic also usually has these spreads. Sometimes I take them out, sometimes I leave them in. I'm going to leave them in this time and put the Citra Solv on it because I just want to see what it will do. And I think actually there's a couple of those in this magazine. But you want, yeah, here's another one. But you want to find, you know, a magazine that has a lot of pictures, and the more colorful the pictures or the photographs, to me, the better they are after the Citra Solv is put on them. Now, what I usually do is brush the Citra Solv on with a sponge brush or a cheap old brush, but I'm going to do it a little differently this time. I'm going to just sprinkle it on because I want to try to, you know, just create some different patterns, more, you know, make them look more splashy. But I'll just get started here. I usually start at the back, and I don't like to do ones with a lot of type because you have to destroy the type anyway, and they usually, you know, don't make really pretty pages anyway. So actually I'll just, no, just start like this. And I want to try to cover this so I'm not pouring a ton of it out. And can you see me? Hopefully you can see me. Hopefully my camera's on. Let's see. Yeah, and I just want to sprinkle some around like that. Flip over the page. And do the next thing. And you just go through. Oh, and you may notice I have some plastic down here. You want to put plastic down because this is really messy, because all of this Citra Solv is going to seep out the edges and the ends of your book, and it's going to take some of the ink with it. So it really does become quite messy. Actually, what made me think about doing this is that I was cleaning my bathroom. Whoa. Cleaning my bathroom a couple days ago and looked under the sink, and there was a Citra Solv. I didn't think I had any more. I thought I had used all of it. But this is what you do, and I'm not going to make you suffer through watching me do every page. I'll come back after I've finished all, finished all the pages. So I'll be right back. I just forgot, I want to try a couple other things. I want to, let's see, cut this up or rip this up. See my scissors here, but I want to try some different techniques on some pages. For the heck of it, I want to try plastic bag and maybe some stencils. Let's pull out some stencils here. If I can find some that I think will be good. Okay, let's try this. Let's get to a good page and we'll throw those in. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, maybe we'll do this. Throw that in and go like this. Just see if it does anything. I'm actually trying to use this sparingly because, as you can see, I don't have a lot left. Here, let's put this over here and then over there. Ooh, this will be a pretty page, I'll bet. But then again, you never really know. The ones that you think might be the prettiest pages turn out just big blobs of black ink. Here, let's just put some plastic down in this one. Go like that, see what it does. Whoa, I'm kind of crazy with that one. We'll go like this and like this. Squish it down. Okay, moving right along here. Let's, we'll stick that in there like that. Okay, here's one of these fold out ones. So let's pull it out. You're not going to be able to see the whole thing on camera, but I'm pouring some on there. Going like that. And then I'll just fold it back up. Like that, like that, like that. Okay, we're getting down to the end. I turned the camera off, but I have this stuff all over my hands and I don't want to touch it. I'll stop talking, then I can speed through this. Okay, so now we have some Citra Solv in there. And sometimes it'll start working fairly quickly. So let me grab a rag and clean off my hands a little bit. Here we go. Okay, let's just open it in some places and see if anything is happening. Not too much yet. And hang on a second, I'll get a sponge brush so you can see how the ink actually is coming up and moving around. Okay, let's flip this baby over. I think I really actually put some on the back, and I may have to go in. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. Okay, here you can see. You see it coming up there? So you can go in, and make some marks yourself. See how that dark ink is coming up? Let's see if we can get some of this off down here. No, we can't. But anyway, there you can see how it's coming up. But you just have to, give it time to process. You can move it around a little bit if you don't think that you have enough on here, which I don't think I have enough on. So you can see the ink moving around there. Yeah, I'm going to pour some more. I have a little bit left, so I'm going to pour some more so that, you know, like I said, I usually spray this so I get like the whole, I really get it covered. Why am I doing this with my hand? Look at that. That's crazy. But I usually do it, you know, with the brush so I can cover the whole page. But I've seen people do it with, you know, sprinkling it like this, and it really achieves some beautiful results. See, and you could, once it starts moving, I mean, you could, let's see if we can do it here. Yeah, so you can go like this and make little lines to make changes. Let's see. Usually, I let mine sit for at least an hour to let it start eating away at the ink, and I get the best results that way. But you know, I've seen people who their magazines start cooking or melting, whatever you want to call it, pretty quickly. I don't know if it has to do with the weather in your area, whether you're in a dry climate or... See, look at this, how this one's really pulling up here. Yeah. Yeah, you could also, you know, put little masks in here. Like I could put little circle masks in there, and that might make some cool patterns. Okay, come on. Yeah, and I'm really going to squish the book together after I feel like I have enough Citra Solv in here. Look at all of it coming out. What a mess. What a mess, what a mess, what a mess. I'm going to just leave that. You know, put some more on this page to carry it over to that page. Yeah, I hope these turn out, because if they don't, I have to rethink my project, aren't I? You know, looking at these, and they are pretty wet. I think what I'm going to do is pick, well, yeah, I mean, they're pretty wet. I think I'm going to pick it up and pour some along the edges, just to make sure. See, can you see that? See all the black ink that's pouring out of there? You know, so as you can see, it's definitely cooking. Definitely cooking there. Let me just, well, let me squish. Let me really squish this so we get that all spread around in there. I think I've got enough in there. I don't think I need to pour any around the edges. I was going to, if I didn't think I had enough, just lift it up and pour it along the edges so it will seep in, but I think we're okay. I think we have enough. So I'm going to let this sit for a while and just see what we end up getting. Now, if you let it sit too long, if you let it completely dry, your pages will stick together. So I keep checking mine, you know, to make sure that they're not sticking together. But that's what we're going to do. We'll leave it and come back in an hour. Okay, I decided to bring you out here onto my porch to show you this because this is really messy. And I put it out here because I thought it would dry a little bit more quickly. As you can see, there's still ink, Citra Solv dripping everywhere. But let's look. Let's see what's happened in here. Let's see, not much there. And not that much there. Come on, don't tell me this is going to be just like a complete bust. It didn't really do much. It's been about 2 hours now. Come on. Come on. I know some of this ink has to be... Ah! Here we have it. Okay. So it's starting to make some messy yet kind of cool looking pages, or at least we have 2. There we go. These kind of pages are just, you know, they make cool collage pages. Ooh, pretty. Very pretty. Ooh, I like that one. Can do something with that. This is so gross. It's so oily. Oh, I like that. Yeah, you get a lot of this little, you know, the little circles. Don't know exactly what makes it happen like that, but it does happen like that a lot, unless you go in and try to do something. Ooh, wow. Wow, you can't tell what that page was at all. Very cool. Very cool. So it's the middle pages that work a lot better. Now see how the ink from this page went over onto that one. I like that. Where you can see the words through just that purple ink. Let's move my camera sideways so maybe you can get a better view. And keep going here. Very cool. Yeah, it's always a surprise. You never know what's going to happen with these babies. Ooh, I like that a lot. I really like that. You could do some kind of underwater scene with that. Look at that up there. Wow. Like a dinosaur. So what I will do next is separate these and lay them out so that they can dry, because if I let them completely dry in here, they will. Well, first of all, it'll take forever. Ugh, I'm getting old. I've got to stand up. I'm too old to stay on my knees for very long. Isn't that pathetic? Okay, this insert didn't do much. Ooh, yeah, the inserts are like a thicker paper. I didn't know if they would cook or not. And as you can see, yeah, they didn't really do anything, but that's okay. Okay, I'm getting all messed up here, but let's see. Let's see if this did anything. A stencil. It did. I mean, you can see the marks from the stencil a little bit, but it didn't do, you know, what I was really hoping that it would do. But, okay. I'm not gonna flip through every single one of these. Let's see if the plastic did anything. Here's the plastic. Trying not to drop my phone into this. Yeah, well, you know, it made some little marks, but it didn't really cook the, oh, wait a minute, I had that way. I did this one too. That one did some cool stuff up there, but it didn't, look at the bubbles sliding down the page. But I think there's just too much Citra Solv in there. The plastic was holding it in too much. Ooh, look at that! I like that. Okay, let's see if the circle one did anything. Man, this is gross. Yeah, that made some circles and some squares. Cool. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is, and I'm not going to do this on camera because I don't really want to bring this back in the house to do it, and I don't want to bring my tripod out here, but I'm just going to rip the pages out and then set them out on some plastic to dry, and then I'll show them to you after they're dry. So, see you in a while. Okay, so this is what I have. I've laid it all out to dry. Thought I'd give you a look. And yeah, we'll end up with some pretty pages here. Hopefully they won't stick together, but I'll keep an eye on them. And maybe they'll be dry by in the morning. Let's hope. And let's really hope that they don't start, we don't get a gust of wind and then they blow away and end up on the top of my, the roof of my porch downstairs. That would really be a bummer. Hey, it's my backyard. Okay, see you in a while.